Guys and girls, welcome back to the channel. I'm back at Into Moto in Warrington, and today I'm doing a video because I've had a subscriber ask me the question, what scooter is good for a shorter rider? They tend to have quite high seat heights, and it doesn't matter what style of bike it is, they all tend to have around the 800mm seat heights. They're quite tall bikes. But what's good for a shorter rider? Well, I've walked into Moto today and I've asked the question, and luckily there's a brand new scooter from QJMOTOR that was brought in yesterday. So let's have a look at it. This bike is tiny, and just to start this off, I'm just going to move it around, show you how easy it is to move as well. So as you can see, very light. It's a very small bike. It is like wheeling a chunky push bike around. It's kind of how it feels. Now, I don't think I've seen a bike quite as light as this since I took the Suzuki Address out. It's around the 100kg mark, which for a scooter is light, but it is physically a small bike. The length of this bike, the width, everything is small. This is QJ's LTS125S. Yeah, I know it's a bit of a mouthful. The name is certainly bigger than the bike. Let's have a look around the usual way, and don't forget, I'm going to go for a ride after this as well. But let's have a look around and I'll throw some specs as we're going. Even the guys in Into Moto weren't expecting this bike in. This has kind of just arrived on them unannounced. But yeah, I got asked the question the other day about a perfect bike for a shorter rider, and yeah, this rolls into town. You can see it is physically quite a small bike. It does have the nice step through. Again, that's always a good thing for the shorter rider because they don't have to throw the leg over the back seat. They can, yeah, just slip the leg through at the front. Yeah, I think it's a nice looking scooter. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. So I mentioned seat height. 760mm seat height on this, so for a scooter that's pretty small. I'm 5'8" with the 29-inch inseam, so I'm a short bloke anyway, but something like this would be suitable for someone even shorter than me. Now, as I've said, it's so much easier being able to put your leg through that way when you're getting on the bike instead of throwing your leg over that way, especially with the taller bikes. But this is shorter, so it's a win-win. As you can see, very elegant and easy to get on. Because there's no weight to it, you can just, yeah, it comes off the side stand really easily as well. And I am flat foot both sides with a bend in the knee. If I stand up, there's actually air between my backside and the seat. So again, if you're a shorter person, a couple of inches shorter than me, or your legs are a couple of inches shorter than me, you should still be able to flat foot this bike, or at the very least you'd be on your balls of your feet or flat foot one side, obviously depending on your own height. Now, that's where this becomes an issue if you're a taller rider, because as I've just mentioned, my legs aren't particularly tall, but where my knee is quite close to the frame of the bike. So if you are a taller person, yeah, this bike may not be suitable for you. You do have an option, of course, of shuffling a little bit further back in the seat to give yourself another inch or two, but that's about it before the seat rises and you've got your pillion part of the seat. So yeah, what is good for one is not good for another. Definitely appears more suitable for the shorter rider. Feels comfortable though. And whilst I am close to the bike with my knees, I can still move my knee around freely. I'm not going to hit anything. It's not in danger of doing anything like that. Feels comfortable. let's keep going. Brakes on this, we've got a 240mm disc at the front and 190mm at the rear. As you'd expect from a modern bike, what we've got on this is the full LED light setup, so it should make it nice and visible for the road. I actually like the front of this as well, the light setup's really nice. On 14-inch alloys. It's currently on the side stand. As I've mentioned, it's so unbelievably light that the slightest lift, even now, just lifting it up off the side stand is really easy. I can do it one-handed with little to no effort. It also comes with a centre stand as well, which is always good for when you're storing the bike. Does just have the single shock at the back. Seat wise, as I've mentioned, it does go up for the pillion seat, so you don't have a lot of wiggle room there if you're taller. Maybe a matter of an inch or two. That's not a lot. However, I would say if you're anywhere over 5'10", I would probably be a little bit worried as to whether this bike was going to be too small. Anyone under that should be fine. There is a decent sized seat for a rear passenger should you want to take one. They've got some nice grab handles as well, and the rear pegs are nicely tucked away. Buttons are what you get in on a lot of scooters. There's not a lot to it, and I like that because it just makes it really simple. You've got a horn, you've got your indicators, there's a high and low beam, simple. Right hand side, you've got an engine start, you've got hazards, you've got your engine cut off. Again, basic, but it's all you need. Let's take a look at the screen. So the bike uses a key, it's none of this keyless stuff, but the screen itself, yeah, it's got nice flashes of colour to it. It's got everything you need. In fact, it's a lot better than I expected. Certainly a bike of this price point. I'll talk about that shortly. But what we've got on the screen, you've got your rev counter arching over there. You've got your speedo, you've got fuel gauges, there's battery voltmeters. There is total miles. You can see this one has done nothing at all. Everything you need and nothing more. For a bike of this size, for a bike that I think it looks quite nice as well. Feels quite nice, feels comfortable. £1,799, so it's right at the bottom of, well, it's at the bottom of the pile, I think, as far as price goes. £1,700, good that. Now I know there's going to be on the road costs, and they're usually a couple of £100. However, that still will bring this bike, even with the on the road costs, it's going to be around the £2,000 mark, which for a brand new 125cc scooter that is going to be perfect for a shorter rider, I think is an absolute bargain. I have done a little read up, and it promises quite a sprightly riding experience because it's small and it's light. Even though it's not got the most power in the world, they tend to be quite nippy, and I found that with the Suzuki Address. Still today, it's one of my favourites. It's a really light bike, but it seems to go like a rocket just purely because there's no weight to it, and I'm hoping I get the same experience with this. That is the walk round done. I'm going to take it for a ride now and see how it goes. I'm hoping it has got something about it. I'm hoping that it's not just a bike that's good for short people. I'm hoping it's a bike that is still going to be fun and still gives you the smiles. So let's take it for a ride. In my rush to get round and ride this bike, I didn't even think about, you know, some stuff. Just too busy rushing, so I'm going to just throw it in now. This does have storage. It does. They're quite deep. You'd maybe get a hand in there, but there's no cover or anything on them, and yeah, I mean, you certainly wouldn't be putting any valuables in there. But I have spied in there is a USB port, so yeah, while you're riding, might be a good place to put something charging in there. I can't work out even how to open the seat at this point, so I think what we'll do, we'll go for a ride, and then I think I need instructions. You don't rev it and get loads of noise and then it starts moving. You go and it's moving instantly. I like that. So many, especially the older bikes, you'd rev them and you'd get a good second or two and they'd pull away really like slowly and sluggishly, and it'd take an age to speed up. But you can see literally there, a really good turning circle, really easy to do because the bike's tiny and it's a low seat height, so for someone like me it's easy to do, really easy. Let's see how it picks up speed. Now, nice for a slow, smooth takeoff there with just a little bit on the accelerator. Okay, now I'm on the cobbles. I am feeling the cobbles. I know you'd expect that, but yeah, I am feeling the cobbles just a little bit. So the suspension does feel quite firm. Certainly not as plush as some scooters that I've been on. It's a weekend, it's a town centre. Let's see how good we are at pulling out in traffic. Ooh, this does feel really nippy from the off. It does, I feel, right, hang on, there's nothing behind me. Let me just slow it right down. Hello. This does pick up speed nicely. Certainly to the 30 mile an hour that I've just done. That did pick up speed beautifully. Now it is quite strange because this is probably one of the smallest scooters that I've been on. And the bars are quite close here, but I think I like it because my arms aren't stretching for bars. I've got loads and loads of bend in my elbow, which is actually making for a really comfortable ride. But what I'm most impressed with at the minute is just the initial, like, from 0 to 30 just seems really punchy. Like, it's not a sports bike, and I'm not going to pretend it is, but from 0 to like a little twist and you look down and you're doing 30 mile an hour, or 31, sorry, but you get into that speed quickly, and that's what I like. That, for me, is what scooters are for. Scooters are for, well, especially small ones like this, it's the perfect little town or city commuter bike. Loads and loads of cars about. What's better than a little thing like this to zip through traffic? In fact, the cars are slowing me down at this point. Oh, the brakes are nice on this as well. So let's try the brakes again. Yeah, that is some good braking power, considering again this bike is brand new. It hasn't been run in by any stretch, you know, so the brakes, the performance and everything I would expect to improve with usage, and that's a good thing. It is just I'm liking it. There is something about being on a bike that is unbelievably light and nimble that you feel like you can just throw it from side to side because it's so easy to do. And that with the performance. Now, I'm not going to be able to test any top speed performance or anything like that today because the bike is, well, it's brand new. But for what I would use a scooter for and what I think scooters are built for, I think this bike is as good as I'd ever want it to be. And I said the same about the Suzuki Address for exactly the same reason. The weight does play a massive part with scooters, and if the scooter is, like in this case, it's probably 20 kilograms lighter than the average scooter. That's a lot, especially when it comes to a 124cc bike. It's a lot. So being that much lighter is give it that extra bit of a boost for your standing starts. It's a good thing. Now while I'm here now, there's a little bit of vibration in the seat, but not like, it's not annoying, it's just enough to let you know that the engine's running. I don't have a problem with that, it's not uncomfortable. The mirrors aren't vibrating. The screen's lovely as well. There seems to be a lot of good things about this bike so far. I've not found anything that I would say I would consider as a negative. Again, I think it's just a nice little thing. And it's a good thing, again, with a little bike like this, if you've only got a tiny bit of room, it's so easy to just whip it round. This, again, it's just perfect for this kind of stuff, and this is why I love scooters, but in particular this tiny little one just seems to do everything that a scooter can do, but because it's smaller and lighter, it just seems to be easier. This, to my knowledge, is the first one of its kind in the UK. So if you are living in another country and you have one of these, please do tell me what sort of speeds have you had out of yours. What's the top speed like? Because I can't test it today, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people really interested in these, because you should be. And yeah, it might be some valuable information for a would-be buyer. But yeah, I like it. I do. It's just ticking all the scooter boxes for me. It's just a shame I can't ride it with a bit of aggression today to see what the top speed's like, but you know, I'm being respectful. New bike, no miles, so yeah, I'll have to try and get older one at some point that's been ran in. Well, it is, the switch gear and everything works fine. It's in a perfect position as well, you know, you're not having to take your hands off the bars, you're not stretching, everywhere's easy and accessible. Again, it just makes ease of use for me, and I think that's what scooters are all about. They are about jumping on and not thinking too much, in fairness. They're just easy to ride, easy to operate, and yeah, it's about making your life easier, and this does it. And while I mentioned, like, my knees are quite close to the end, so yeah, if you are taller it might be an issue for you, but even though I've got that going on, I've still got quite a big bit of room between my legs. And I didn't even mention the bag hook. There's a bag hook right in the middle there that is it's perfect, because you've got that additional bit of storage there that you can put a shopping bag or something like that there. So yeah, I am actually really impressed with this little thing. You could probably tell I've only gone out and done a mile or two on it, because it's a brand new bike and I'm just getting an initial impressions out there. But my initial impression is this is a lovely little thing to throw around town. It's got the performance up to 30-40 mile an hour, amazing, and it's so light and nimble to move about. I'm blown away with it, especially with it being £1,799. That is, for me, an absolute steal, and I can see these selling a hell of a lot of bikes, not just for the people who are around 5 foot either. I can see even people up to 5'10" having one of these and having an absolute blast on it. Now, being completely incompetent as I am, when I've took this bike out, I completely forgot to look under the seat, and I don't know whether that's because I couldn't find how to open it, because if you look, the ignition there, you don't open it there, and I had a look round, I couldn't find it, but it's been pointed out how stupid I am. Access to under the seat is via the key just under here, just easy. And you've got access to your fuel tank as well under there. So speaking of fuel, it's only got a 7-litre fuel tank this. However, you'll get loads of miles out of that, and as you can see, it takes E5 and E10. Unlike a lot of the Chinese made bikes that are coming through that just say E5, the expensive stuff, you can put E10 in it. Now what I would say on this is, personally, I prefer E5, and I do it for a reason. I find that it's better for the bike. I get more miles out of E5 when I put it in, so you pay more but you get more. But anyway, it takes both. You've got the option. As far as storage goes under here, you've got enough storage for a little bag. You can see the user manuals here. There's a little toolkit strapped underneath, but you're certainly not gonna fit a full face helmet in, as I'm gonna just grab my own helmet just to show you. It's some way off getting in there, even if you're putting it, yeah, put it, doesn't matter which angle, it's not going in. However, it's usable storage that you could put a bag, maybe a shopping bag, maybe 2 small shopping bags in there, but you're not going to fit a helmet. That's going to do me for today. If you've liked the video, don't forget to give a thumbs up. If you want to make a comment, please do. Let's chat bikes in the comments. If you've got one, please give me as much information as you possibly can. These are new in the UK, and you are probably going to be, well, you will be much better placed to give us the rundown on these bikes than I will be from the little experience I've had on it today. So please do give us all the information in the comments, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Laters. YouTube. Oh yeah. He's a killer. That's right.